Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Vampire the Requiem. A Requiem for London. This evening's scene will take place in the ruined remains of what was once the theatre of the Cirque du Macabre, which is currently having vast reconstruction done, most of which has been at the behest of Charlie, who, well, actually has an eye for these kinds of things. What are aesthetics, if I know?
They're the arts of aesthetics.
However, this evening, Dr. Isabella Moreau is preparing herself to join her fellows, for she has spent most of her on life with them, and today she has opted to join them in their eternal night. Izzy will be left a plain white smock to wear for this evening's this evening. Actually, no, it'd be black considering what we do. We'll be left a plain black smock to wear for this evening. When she has adorned this, she will go downstairs. The altar room, which was a fixture of this fine establishment, even after it was brutally, shall we say, rendered onto the torch. The doors are open, and there is the heady smell of burning incense as you enter. The various members of the coterie and members of the Lancashire et Sanctum stand around the room. I will let them do their own introduction, so we'll start with Charlie.
I guess this is more a question for you. Are we in, special baptism clothes?
Farthingale certainly is.
Yeah, I mean, myself and Farthingale, because he's a priest and I'm a bishop, I think we wear robes, but you guys don't really have to.
Okay.
If you want to have special clothes, you can.
I mean, I feel like if we're gonna go for the whole aesthetic, us wearing regular clothes would ruin that. So okay. Charlie, not necessarily in full robe, regalia or whatever, will just be in a simple black cloak with a hood pulled over her face. Just kind of standing a little behind everybody, as she's more of an observer in this rather than a part of the ceremony itself. I guess beside Jones.
Jones, you're up, sir.
Jones will be in the full getup, as it were. He looks mildly uncomfortable with the whole ordeal, but he also doesn't want to let his boss or Big Papa Daniel down. So he's just so excited to be here, or at least he's pretending to be.
And Farthingale.
Farthingale is wearing a full-length hooded cassock, go right down to the ankles, all black. There are silver and red threads along the bottom, so it looks vaguely like the thing's been marked with blood at the bottom. And even his hands are gloved, hood up, face covered. Creepy priest clown.
Joshua, for his part, is standing there. His robes are His robes are black and purple, and he stands there because I believe bishops wear purple.
Sorry. Yeah, bishops wear purple, cardinals wear red.
Yeah. He has a decorative cross of silver that hangs around his neck. He has his hands clasped together in black leather gloves. In one of his hands, he holds a golden chalice. Before he kind of stretches out his hand to Izzy, kind of beckoning her to come forward.
Should move forward towards him.
He will say, "So it was when the spear was plunged into the side of Christ by Longinus. Longinus was shown the path that he would follow, for the curse that he would bear, for the sin he had committed, and that we would be the wolves to tend the flock, to make sure that they did not stray, to safeguard them when the night grew long, and to punish those whom would, through actions or inactions, bring harm to the flock itself. We are God's executioners, made manifest and flesh. When Izzy stands before him, he very gently puts a hand on on her shoulder to get her to kneel.
Okay.
He will say, Isabella Moreau, you stand here in the sight of your own damnation. Are you willing to take upon yourself the mantle that has been passed from Longinus through his testament and word, as was bestowed upon him by our Father? Do you take on this mantle and this mandate?
Yes.
Do you swear that you will serve in the capacity, the sacristy of this office, so long as you have strength to do so?
Yes.
Do you swear that the members of the Lancea et Sanctum are your brothers and sisters, to obey the tenets of its priests, its bishops, its cardinals?
Yes.
What Joshua will do is he will spend a willpower point. He will, you will see his eyes start to run crimson very, very, very quickly as he bleeds 2 points of blood into the chalice. So it's actually quite a lot of blood to fill that fills the chalice almost to the brim. But he will dip his finger into the blood before he will anoint you on the forehead with a daub of the blood, and he will say, "Let all who meet you know that you are our sister. And when it should become time for us to be called home to our Father's side, let them be aware that you will wield the whip and be as his duly appointed giver of justice to those whom have strayed." He holds down the chalice to you. Drink deep of the love of our Father, and know that you stand within his light.
She'll give a quick look around to everybody that's there, and then she'll drink it.
You will gain 2 points of vitae.
Hey.
You will also gain. Hang on, I have to check the actual rules for this. You do not gain the bloodbound condition. I know that because his blood, when he does his stigmata, is special.
It doesn't give vinculum.
Yeah, it doesn't give the vinculum. So okay. Each week the vampire loses 1 vitae per dot of its merit. This loss is accompanied by a single level of lethal damage as the body releases the blood, so he will take a level of lethal damage. It occurs at times of great danger. I can spend a willpower to just automatically do this, so I'll skip that part. The blood does not create blood bonds or cause vitae addiction. It will still create ghouls, embrace, or other effects of the blood. Those feeding from the kindred blood gain the inspired condition, if mortal, or the raptured condition, if kindred. So as you drink his blood, you do feel almost a spiritual epiphany. In that moment, you feel the light of God upon you.
Nice.
Yeah. If you were a Theban sorcerer, there are additional benefits, but you're not, so... But yeah, in that moment, you feel God's warmth upon you. You feel his hand upon your shoulder. When the blood is gone, Joshua will take the chalice. He'll hand it off to Farthingdale, just kind of like hand it to his side.
Yep, he will take it and lay it down on what appears to be a table with a large cloth over it, but you get the impression it's a makeshift altar.
And he will say, "Arise now, our sister."
She'll stand up.
Joshua smiles and he will say, "See, that wasn't so bad."
I thought there was going to be at least one virgin sacrifice.
Incidentally, you now get a very strange experience from Creepy Clan Man.
Is he actually happy?
He's going to walk over.
Oh god, is he going to hug me?
Yeah, he's going to hug Izzy.
Uh,
Bone-crushingly right.
Does this need to become a group hug?
Oh god.
Yes, Farthingale will gesture.
Charlie
Jones,
will walk
Jones.
over and join in on this hug.
Yeah, Jones is getting in on that too.
She does that cat hiss thing where like, ah.
The only time that Farthingale ever shows normal human emotion.
Joshua smiles. He's very, very. You will notice he's very, very quick. He basically cleans the cup with a piece of silk cloth before he tosses the bloodstained cloth into a small brazier that will have been set in the room. But just in case, because he doesn't like the concept of anyone having his blood. But he'll smile as he's kind of leaning there easy. He doesn't join the group hug because he feels it would be slightly undignified for a bishop to join a group hug.
Charlie will like
Charlie,
run back
pull
down.
your dad in.
Yeah, no, she's gonna fight the group hug for a second, and then she's just gonna sigh and like gesture for Joshua to come over.
All right, you know what? Screw it. He'll join the group hug.
Yeah, faith
I
hug.
mean, Farthingale's a priest, and he initiated this.
Joshua smiles as he steps back, and he'll say, "It's funny." I beg your pardon? Okay. He'll say, "It's funny. I feel like
was thinking
this is-
Farthingale also.
Oh, sorry, you continue talking.
You go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just making a stupid joke.
Okay. He'll say, "It's funny. I feel like in many ways we stand at the precipice of a new beginning."
One way
Hopefully,
to
it's
put
a
it.
good one.
It'll be what we make of it.
Maybe the last baptism we perform here for some time.
There are the Revenants whom fought so bravely to defend this place. I meant what I said, that I want to see them uplifted. They don't deserve the fate that they have in those sewers.
I still
Nicole.
want to see if there's something else we could do to help. We can't uplift all of them, but maybe I can find something to help them in a different way.
We can't uplift them all, but there are over 200 Lankea within this city. If even a quarter of them were willing to open their arms to someone in need, then we could do it.
Or failing that, he looks directly at Joshua. I'm sure you could always turn to the Lord.
Mm. Joshua sighs softly as he kind of throws himself into a chair, and he'll say, "I don't like to call on that much power too quickly or often, but it is a possibility I have been considering."
It may prove to be the only option, I'm afraid.
Possibly. Though I have found something that may be of interest to those of you who are here gathered. There's a ritual that can be done that I believe will give us a lot of potential ability to combat. Oh yes, Master Jones, I have a question for you before I continue with my thought.
Yes.
How familiar are you with, shall we say, the owls?
Jones looks at him. Hoot? Hoot? Hoot?
The owls are a spiritual entity whom are responsible for great calamity and woe throughout kindred society. They have another name, but I will not utter it because I believe that they can hear it when you do. It's they are active currently within this city. You can know if they tend to skin ride kindred and mortals. This skin riding takes the physical effect of having them manifest bright yellow eyes.
I see.
So far, I have engaged with 2 of them, and both times I have managed to come away with my skin intact. I believe I managed to kill them once, and the first time, well, they were killed by 2 of the elder kindred in the city in the form of Lord Valerius and Master Stainhope, the head of the Carthian movement. But they are currently very active, very here, and if you see anyone with bright yellow eyes, Master Jones, I recommend you run as if the very hounds of hell were behind you.
Because trust us, they are.
At the mention of
He
of the
will-
owls, Charlie's just kind of like looking down at her feet.
Very well. Noted. Understood.
It is as it is. I'm merely saying that, well, he smiles to himself for a moment. I may have found a ritual that can help us in this. I'm currently researching it because it is incredibly old and incredibly powerful.
What are you planning to do to them?
To them, nothing. I am, however, going to fight a demon with an angel.
Really?
Yes,
You have one of those lying around?
they can be summoned, but it is a very powerful, very great undertaking.
From what I understood, it was also something that risks heaven's intervention.
They are a similar type. No, I will not say that. But the angels may have the ability to combat Strix where we do not. They may also have information on them that we do not possess.
Mm-hmm. Possibly. Possibly.
It is a very great undertaking to summon one. I have the required power, but it will require some finesse. So it will take me some time to be able to generate the necessary power.
It also occurs to me we've both studied that book, Joshua.
Yes.
The hand ritual might work. And you're more in line to learn it than I am.
I already have. Rather, I have altered it and changed it. Whereas it was spoken in blasphemous tongues, I have lent it to the Theban art. I have changed it, and it is now a different ritual, but one that yields the same effect. You are speaking about... What was the name of the ritual out of character again, Anthony?
The hand of Seth or the hand of Hades.
Yes, I have changed it. It is now no longer... My version of it is shall we say, different. It is called, what did Joshua call his version? Give me 20 seconds. It is called, drumroll please.
It's ironic, really. Farthingale is the occult specialist, but it's Joshua who's the sorcerer.
It is called the Hand of Michael, the Hand of Saint Michael. Essentially, what the hand of Saint Michael allows one to do is remove a spirit from the body of an individual who is currently being possessed by it. I think it will work on a Strix. Actually, he doesn't say Strix; he says owl. Sorry, I'm really tired.
That's all right.
He will say owl.
Let us hope it works. We can't afford to have them wandering the streets these nights.
Probably wouldn't be the best to try that untested. It'd be real unfortunate if you're pulling out the person and not the owl.
Unfortunately, there isn't really time to test it.
Not to mention, I don't exactly have one of those creatures in my back pocket.
Yes. If it turns out we've got it wrong, we've committed a sin for no gain.
Ultimately, our covenant is the only one who has the tools necessary and the willingness, I feel, to combat this issue. Perhaps the Circle of the Crone, but what they do is cold and fueled with pain. There will be a great deal of bloodshed in this city soon, I sense. A great deal.
I'm curious about something.
Mm.
Do you still have the lamps you made?
Yes.
Could we affix one when we renovate this place?
Hmm.
Could we affix one to the ceiling and use mirrors to reflect its light down? Just in case one of those creatures happens to sneak in during a performance.
We can affix one, yes. Oh, yes, I made a study. He looks at Izzy. Do you recall in the sewer system, one of my lights was corrupted by one of those creatures?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's something I've discovered that's uniquely unpleasant. I did research into why my light was corrupted and became a purple toxic miasma. It's a form of Kruak sorcery, the Circle of the Crone's brand of magic.
Huh.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Do you think they're
It
involved somehow?
I don't know. Kruak is a mad. So when we use Theban sorcery, we call on the power of God. And as a matter of fact, we can feel God move through us when we enact some of the more powerful and potent rituals. But Kruak deals with more evil and dark entities. I don't know if the Circle of the Crone are themselves involved with the Strix. Once again, owls. Evan will occasionally fuck up and say it. But whenever I say Strix, assume I mean owls. But I don't know if they are directly involved with these entities, but it proves a point that I made a very long time ago, that I believe that they themselves are capable of sorcery.
The owls themselves.
Yes.
Do you think it might be because, like, if they possess a Circle of the Crone, would they just then gain their powers?
Well, when I met the owl, and then when I met one of the Kruaks, it was kind of similar.
That's the frightening part. For all we know, they may derive their power from pacts and bargains with the owls, perhaps under different names. But history is littered with those who have been alleged to summon up dark and terrible forces for power.
I mean, in general, when somebody's trying to summon something that's not really supposed to be here, it tends to go poorly.
But maybe the Crone is simply better at it over the course of however many eons they've spent perfecting the art.
When we have to cling to our humanity in order to perform our sorceress workings. It's from our humanity that we draw our strength. I don't know if they are the same. I don't believe they are.
We are granted miracles because we live in accordance to what is required of us. The less human we are, the less capable we are of shepherding the herd. We fall from our duties if we fall from humanity.
Quite so. Quite so. But I don't know about their capabilities. No, the problem is that no one does, because our entire society is impinged upon fear, superstition, and, well, ignorance. It seems to me like there could be much knowledge, but most of us are more happy to bury our heads in the sand than actually, I don't know, catalog what is known.
It seems like an ongoing problem, and I don't think it's just coincidence.
All right. I have some tasks that I would like both of you. His head kind of lasers between Isabella and Farthingdale to perform.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, a few weeks ago, we entered into Goodman Pharmaceuticals, as I'm sure many of you will know. I have not told Mr. Goodman about this because, well, frankly, that man is a moron.
Correct.
He is literally the most. He looks at Izzy. He is the most wanted man in London, and he is drinking in public bars in Hammersmith.
Yikes.
He popped in to have a conversation with myself and Joshua and Charlie.
I don't understand why the Ordo hasn't just pasted that guy.
The man's excuse was, I seem to recall, Joshua, the words, "People have short memories."
Not when you kill 13 police officers of the Met, they don't. He's literally the most wanted man in this city.
Probably one of the most wanted men in Europe.
I don't have the strength. But my point is, Izzy, when we were in his pharmaceutical company, we uncovered some interesting pharmaceutical data, 2 pieces of it that you might be interested in. One of it was about this new drug. What's the drug called again? Violet, that he was working on. The other was an experimental heart medication he was working on. Now, the heart medication could be sold to big pharma for more than likely benefices and favors. I assume that you might be able to benefit directly from that. So if you would like to take lead on that little project and reap the rewards of it, more influences and favors is always something the Lankea can use.
So wait, you just want me to try to sell it, or you want me to analyze it?
Both. Find out what its potential properties are, what its value is. If there is value to it, then it can be sold. Also, Violet, I want information on. It is I believe we have near concrete proof that it contains vampire blood, but I want to know any other information you may be able to glean from it and his notes on the topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll see what I can do about it.
Farthingdale, we still have our Trojan uploaded into their system.
True, as I'm frankly surprised they haven't found the adapters yet.
Go online, go to the dark web, sell that Trojan for something of value. We have no value for it. Once again, we might, considering the conflict that is coming, influences and favors will be of use.
I'll see what I can do, but if we may end up being in a situation where money is all we can get, and it will need to be laundered.
That can be arranged.
All right, then. Let's see what we can do.
Charlie,
Yes.
he kind of contemplates for a long moment. And he says, I would like you to work your magic. I'm thinking that I've announced this publicly, but we are going to be doing a large gala presentation in order to celebrate this place when it is reopened in a few weeks' time. But not only that, we are going to be doing a charity event for the children and families of the dead police officers who were killed by Mr. Goodman as a means of increasing our social standing in the city's elite, because they love to be seen to give money away to good and charitable causes. I would like you to take Spearpoint to arrange the gala.
I will take care of it. Anybody in particular you want on that invite list?
He shrugs. Do your best. I don't really mind who shows. People who have deep pockets and even smaller brains.
And for the other guest, I'm assuming, do you want this to be a primarily living affair?
Oh, yes. This is, as I say, designed to increase our standing in high society, make the circus look like a more avant-garde and artistic endeavor, I suppose, but also to generate money and revenue for those poor, unfortunate souls who they didn't deserve to lose their fathers and their mothers in that way.
I will get in contact with the proper people and have that organized.
Good. Tiger, are you still there? Because you've been muted for a while. He wants to talk to Jones now.
You said he had to step
Yeah,
away.
okay. I just had to
Okay.
step away.
Are you back? You're back.
For food? Yeah, I'm back.
Was the food at least? Is the food delicious?
Shalom. Yeah, it's like the chicken Alfredo, but with spaghetti noodles. I got some green beans. I got some mashed potatoes. Kim made it. Shit's lit.
I mean, I keep hearing the Kim does like amazing food.
Yeah, dude, she's great.
Man. But he will say, I'm curious, Master Jones, you've joined us at a rather interesting time. You're a book, you do the books, correct?
Yes, sir.
Very interesting. How long have you been an accountant?
When was it that I applied? When was my interview?
About a week and a half ago.
That.
Excellent. So, we are currently attempting to garner favors, oddities, and influences. How did you feel as though you may be helpful in this endeavor?
You've already tasked me with. Getting some sort of donation or charity events going. I feel
Yes.
like that is an avenue that I can continue working toward.
In that case, Charlie, you will work with Jones. You will handle
Right.
the face side of it. He'll handle the money. This seems like an excellent causality between the two of you.
All right.
That works.
Joshua kind of looks out the window. As I said, I sense a great many people are going to die.
If they do, then our duty is clear. Prepare their souls for what awaits them if we cannot save their lives.
I am going to make the Ordo Dracul bleed like stuck pigs for what it is they've done. I have seen the monstrous I have seen the bestial, but what I saw in that prison tops them all. I am going to make them suffer for what they have done.
Make sure you don't lose yourself, old friend. We are shepherds, not wolves.
Thought you were.
That depends on which side of the argument you fall on. If you're a hardliner or a revisionist, you're viewed as different things.
Well, welcome to one of the great theological differences between myself and Joshua.
There are places, to answer your question, dearest Izzy, there are places for both in the faith. We must be both wolves and shepherds from time to time.
Well, I'm curious to see who it is exactly who knows. I don't think it's common knowledge what was done, what the Ordo was doing working with the Invictus.
No. Though it's strange, the Carthians haven't yet moved in order to break open the Bastille, as I call it. I wonder why they're dragging their feet.
Could be they want to get a consensus.
They do like their
Could be they're
politics.
scared.
You will be aggravatingly Carthian of them.
The Carthians vote on nearly everything, I'm led to understand. Maybe they haven't had a chance to vote yet.
Could be. I mean, it's not a small decision to uproot the entire city, which is what's going to happen.
True. Well,
Like you said, a lot of people are gonna die. It's gonna be a lot to figure out what exactly they want to die for.
Now is the time, I sense, where they will have to put their ethics, what they stand for, to the test, and that is oftentimes much easier than it sounds. Or much easier said than done.
If they're gonna willingly walk a path that supports people that do awful things, then they're gonna willingly walk into hell with the damned. And that's gonna be their choice.
Occasionally, just occasionally, when you open your mouth, I understand why it is I'm proud of you.
pat on the shoulder from Farthingdale. Make a priest of you yet, Shirley?
You know, words can hurt a lot, Joshua.
Joshua just smiles. He takes out a cigarette from a pack in his coat pocket and he puts it in his mouth. He offers anyone else who might want a cigarette. No one? He'll then invite it.
Smoking's bad for you.
We're standing in a burned out building and you have the indecency to smoke.
I'm also 2 points. One, I'm also dead, and it's not like it's going to do any more damage.
That you know of.
I don't know, it might make insurance a bit of a nightmare if they find out and declare this like a smoking building.
I don't know, man. I saw my cousin once. She lit one of those up, and her hair just went up. It was wild.
You're going to give us nightmares, Jones.
Really?
Isn't that your department?
I was going to say, you are both Nosferatu. Isn't that your jobs?
True, but for different
Yes.
reasons.
Huh.
Mr. Jones is the horror of the modern accountancy system.
Truest horror.
I mean, I've tried double entry book.
I like to dabble.
It's a living nightmare.
So is there anything else then?
I think we just pack up, make our way back to a place of safety.
Well, we're safe here for the moment. And not to mention the fact that I assure you, when this is all said and done, no one will be entering here again. I will see to it.
Mm. Perhaps we should include in the renovations a dedicated chapel chamber somewhere beneath the ground.
See, I was actually, because I had a lot of thoughts on this. Since we're like a whole thing with like the goth and the macabre and all that stuff, what if we put like the chapel in the main entrance, and then that way it's like part of the attraction, and then also we'll have like a nice big space to put the chapel.
It feels slightly blasphemous. Looks to the bishop.
Joshua's brain is currently working. He kind of chuckles before he'll say, you've rather made this redecoration project to your own, Charlie. You go with your aesthetic choices.
Just remember, if you get struck by lightning, it's a warning.
That's not how lightning works. Except what it is.
You're in the Lancea now. That's precisely how lightning works when the Almighty
That doesn't
says
mean
so.
lightning stops working the way it's supposed to. That doesn't mean science stops working.
Tell that to the Almighty.
I will. I plan on it.
Farthingale, is this you just saying like, if I put the chapel like somewhere kind of, so like do air quotes, blasphemous? Wow, I can't say that word today.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, blah 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 blah. Words are hard. Are you gonna like find a lightning rod and follow me around the middle of the storm just to make sure I get struck by lightning?
No, but it doesn't not mean that I won't tape a lightning rod to you and make it invisible to your senses.
That's just mean.
Charlie will like take a small book out of like her back pocket and like a pen, and you kind of see her like scratching out on like a little sketch she has, and then like flipping to another page and making a note.
It might make a cool like basement attraction though.
Are we letting people in the basement? I was gonna put the panic room there, and she'll make another note.
I mean, we don't have to. I'm just saying. Well, actually, it might be good to put next to the panic room.
Here
Oh,
is
that-
party room. Here is panic room. Here is bathroom.
Oh, dang it! I forgot about bathrooms.
People get mad if they don't have bathrooms.
Yes. Midway through a performance, the entire audience leaves. It hasn't happened in years.
I was going to say, I mean, bear in mind, we have a theater that sits maybe X thousand people. We might need bathrooms there.
Charlie just kind of like tears out a sheet of paper and crumbles it up and just kind of like dramatically like stretches her arm out and drops it on the floor and's like, this is gonna take a couple more days.
Out of character,
no,
also
probably
because,
no.
out of characters, and also because Lyd forgot on her floor plan to include bathrooms.
Lydia may have forgotten to include bathrooms, but I have a really good idea for the chapel and panic room now.
Nice.
Probably the other just going to reach down, grab the piece of paper you dropped on the floor to be dramatic, walk over and put it in the brazier. Don't litter in the temple.
It's not a temple anymore!
Gestures to the robes and the makeshift altar. We're being religious here.
We're done with that bit.
Bishop, have a word with your offspring.
Good offspring. Would you like a cookie?
No, I'm just gonna have to puke it up.
Oh, we don't have to do that in this game.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We should also sell cookies here.
I was gonna say, yeah, we spend a point of blood for Blush of Life, and if we have Blush of Life on, we can eat.
Which raises uncomfortable questions as to what happens afterwards.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna double down on saying it's really important for me not to forget the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that there's some sort of magical wasami goo that basically turns it into like non-vitae, like stuff that's completely useless as vitae, but just sort of sits there.
I'm just gonna say, like, we pay our cleaning staff very well.
How did you manage to shit on the ceiling?
All right.
Yeah, I think our baptism is over, folks.
Yeah, I'm super
All right.
tired.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Vampire the Requiem, a Requiem for London. Have a pleasant evening.
All hail Blancaire.